first reading about the WHO classification of anovulatory disorders. So broadly, they can be grouped into 4 types, 4 classes. So you have the hypogonadotropic hypogonadal, where the HPO axis is suppressed. Okay. So functional hypothalamic amenorrhea can be there, Coleman syndrome, Sheehan syndrome, those will be grouped under this. The eugonadotropic eugonadal, for example, PCOS here, all right. Your hypergonadotropic hypogonadal, the ones where there is, ovarian problems, so premature ovarian insufficiency, gonadal dysgenesis, they will be here. And then hyperprolactinemia is kept in a separate class altogether. Now, I will come back to this in a while, but let's just first look at the drugs that are available to us for ovulation induction. You must know what are the drugs that are used for ovulation induction. You should have a basic idea about these drugs, all right? And we will also build some concepts here, and then we will build on those concepts, right? So, there is clomiphene citrate, there is letrozole, right? Now, these are oral drugs. Then we have gonadotropins. These are injectable drugs, right? We have human menopausal gonadotropins, which is obtained from urine of postmenopausal women. So, postmenopausal women. So, batches of those are there, and then, they are purified and we get these human menopausal gonadotropins. We also have highly purified urinary FSH available. We have recombinant FSH and LH also available. And these recombinant ones are very expensive injections, and that is what adds to, the cost of using gonadotropins for the purpose of ovulation induction. We also have GnRH analogues. Now, leuprolide here is something that is used commonly, and this is a GnRH agonist. Leuprolide is the GnRH agonist. And then in the end, I would like to put dopamine agonist. See, dopamine agonist cannot be used in all situations. They will only be used when there is increased prolactin levels, when there is hyperprolactinemia. Otherwise, they cannot be used all the time. So, understand here, let's get this basic idea as to how these drugs are helping. You see, clomiphene citrate, letrozole, they ultimately stimulate FSH release from the pituitary, and that increase in FSH is going to achieve follicular growth. That is the basic idea. So, obviously, we want to have a normal hypothalamus, a normal pituitary, and a functioning HPO axis. We want this axis to be functional, only then clomiphene citrate and letrozole are going to work. That is how these 2 drugs work. All right, understand this. Now, we could give gonadotropins from outside also. When we give gonadotropins from outside and we give it as injections, we are directly stimulating the ovaries, right? And also understand that, let's say, for example, if there is a pituitary or a hypothalamic cause, then clomiphene citrate and letrozole can't be used, because they work by stimulating FSH release. So, if there is a pituitary or a hypothalamic cause, there is a pituitary or hypothalamic suppression. If this axis is suppressed, then these 2 drugs will not be able to work, and we'll have to give gonadotropins from outside. All right. Now, let's also have a look at GnRH analogues. We can give pulsatile GnRH analogues. Okay, it can be given in a pulsatile manner to stimulate the pituitary. It is going to stimulate the pituitary. We need a normal pituitary function, isn't it? We'll need a normal pituitary function. If we want to use pulsatile GnRH, at least we need a normal pituitary. That is clear. All right. So, keep these important concepts in mind. Now, when you have these concepts in place, let's see. When you have PCOS, all right, where the estradiol levels are normal, the axis is otherwise functional and not suppressed, the first line drug is both letrozole and clomiphene citrate. Both are first line drugs. But if you have to pick one, I've already told you letrozole is the drug of choice if you have to pick one. And second line drugs are gonadotropins. They are the second line drugs that we used in this situation. Now, when there is hypogonadotropic, hypogonadal type of anovulatory dysfunction. Then write down clomiphene citrate and letrozole. They cannot be used. They will not work. Our first line drug is gonadotropins. You can say, why can't we use GnRH analogs? I'll say we can use. It's not like we can't use. Like for example, if you have functional hypothalamic amenorrhea, you have Coleman syndrome where there's congenital deficiency of GnRH. As long as the anterior pituitary is okay, pulsatile GnRH agonist, they can be used, but generally it is more convenient and is less costly to use gonadotropins instead of pulsatile GnRH agonists. So generally first line is gonadotropins. Also remember that when you have Sheehan syndrome, now here anterior pituitary is necrosed. Anterior pituitary necrosis is there. Or you could have a situation where, let's say, a woman had some craniopharyngioma, some pituitary tumor, for which maybe a surgery was done, for which maybe pituitary ablation was done. So remember, if the anterior pituitary is destroyed or it is ablated, then use logic. Can you use pulsatile GnRH? No. Because then where is the anterior pituitary to respond to it, right? So in that situation, you will have to use gonadotropins only. Then pulsatile GnRH analogs are not going to be an option at all. Also remember, see here, now if there is hypergonadotropic hypergonadism like premature ovarian insufficiency, gonadal dysgenesis, right? There's ovarian failure. Then no amount of stimulation that you will give will be able to stimulate the ovaries because ovarian failure is there. So for here, there is no option of ovulation induction in these women by any means. All right, keep that in mind. And when there is hyperprolactinemia, the drug that we use is dopamine agonists. As we already have discussed this under chapter on hyperprolactinemia, what happens is that we will normalize the prolactin levels and it will help resume ovulation. So dopamine agonist will only work in hyperprolactinemia, not anywhere else. All right. Now the two drugs that you need to know a little bit more in detail is clomiphene citrate and letrozole, because they are used as first line drugs in PCOS patients, most common type of anovulatory disorder that we find.